Hello wonderful people, it's Wild here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a 1.17 medieval house. This stunning build makes use of many of the new blocks and features a turret and swooping gable roofs. It is quite a complex build, but I'm sure if you follow along carefully you can create something magnificent. If you'd like, check out the tutorial in the description down below for a slightly simpler build, but it is still wonderful. Let's get going. The materials you'll need for this build will be on your screen now. First, let's create some uprights for some arches to be. Build 5 high with some deep slate bricks. Each space is a gap of 3, and this section here is going to have a tower on it, so we can leave it open. A slightly smaller gap here and here. Then go in with some deep slate brick stairs and place them facing forward like this. Skip any that are on an inside corner, as there's nowhere to really place the deep slate stairs. Here's what we've got so far. Now come to the inside and place cobble on all of the interior sections which won't be seen from the outside like this. So if I'm looking from the outside you can't see it here, and you can imagine there's a wall here, so this won't be seen either. Once you've got a few in, you can start connecting them along the top like this. If you're doing this in creative, you don't have to use just cobble, you can use whatever block you'd like, but in survival this saves on expensive materials like tuff. In this corner section, just build across 3. Let's make a start on the walls. For this we're using a mixture of blocks to add texture. So we've got moss, we've got some andesite, and I'm using stairs and blocks, some cobble and mossy cobble, as well as stairs, and a new 1.17 block tuff. Mix these in any order you like. The trick is to randomize. Oh, hello, John. Now that the walls are in, we can add the final details for these archways. So I'm using some stripped spruce logs and some deep slate bricks and stairs. This detail goes in every 3 wide section like this. Now let's go around to the back to sort out these 2 1-wide gaps. All you need to do here is use a stripped spruce log and a slab. Now the base section is complete. Now this tower is a bit tricky, but if you go step by step, I know you can create something super awesome. To make it easier, place a layer of dirt just behind where we're going to be building the tower, 5 high. I'm breaking the tower into 3 sections based on the materials you'll need. This first section uses deep slate, cobbled deep slate, and some moss. Oh, and deep slate bricks. Alright, so all you need to do is build up 5 high, randomizing these blocks. I'm mixing in some moss because it gives a nice overgrown look. Also, make sure you face your deep slate at different directions so you get the different textures. Might add just a touch more moss down here in the bottom. This is the kind of thing where it helps to build a bit, take a step back, and then you can make any adjustments if you need to. This next section is 4 high, and it's where we'll be transitioning from all deep slate to a mixture of deep slate and lighter grey blocks like stone and cobble. I've also put in some markers where I'm going to have windows with white wall. That way I don't place any blocks there. For this section I've got the mixture of deep slate I used down in the lower section, as well as tuff, andesite and cobblestone. How's that look? I think that looks pretty good. You'll notice I've used a higher proportion of light grey blocks at the top of this section then at the bottom. Now go break these placeholder blocks for where the windows are. Let's move on to the next section. This next section is 10 blocks high, and you'll notice that I have changed the dirt support system to a square because we'll be going all the way around. I've also marked in some spaces for windows. This section of the build will be just out of tuff, andesite and cobble. And andesite stairs and cobble stairs. So continue mixing them in as you see fit. As funny as it sounds, placing blocks randomly can actually be very difficult, so if it takes you a bit of time, don't worry. Now you can go and break any placeholder blocks for windows. And now that the tower's done, you can actually get rid of the dirt inside. Make sure you take a step back at your tower and make sure there's no changes you want to make. Like I'm going to add a little bit of extra moss and change the placement of it. Alright, now I'm happy with it. Now for the upper level walls. Building up 5 high with stripped spruce logs to create some posts. The sections on this level will vary in size to match and fit in with the lower level. So we've got 3 wide sections, 2 wide sections. This one here is 3 wide. And I'm building on top of the cobble here, one back from these outer layer here. On these end walls I have a middle section of 3 and then 2 outer sections which are 2 wide. And for this end section, where you've got the tower in the way, you could imagine that there is another 2 wide section here. Now fill in the gaps with some calcite. All the 3 wide sections have a window with them, which is 2 tall and centered. This front section here has 2 windows right next to the center post. you don't have very much calcite or you're struggling to find it in survival, you can easily substitute this for diorite. I have one window in the center of this wider wall. Two windows close to the center post. And I'm almost all the way around. There we have it. Let's add a little decoration to these posts. For that, I'm using barrels and spruce items. Each section should be decorated like this. This is what the build looks like so far. It's looking marvelous. Let's add the gables. I'm adding the smaller ones first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has a center height of 5. And then build up with calcite like this. Add some details. And this section's ready for a roof. But let's add the other gables in. Now let's rotate round and do the two big gables. Let's add some posts for this big gable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1. Then go in with the calcite. This gable has a window. It's too high and sits in the center here like this. Here's how the wall should look. And now add some details. Now for the one on the other side. And the gables are done. Now it's time to add a roof. For this roof, we're going to do the big section first. Use slabs, stairs, and blocks of cobbled deep slate to create the shape of the roof. Once you've got this like this, build out 2 further with some dark oak stairs and slabs and blocks. Don't forget to come underneath and use stairs and slabs to clean up the look. And the other side. Now continue this roof along the length of the build. When you come to the section which has got the smaller gable roofs, just leave it kind of open. We'll connect it up in just a bit. Now I'm going to extend this dark oak in front of the tower here, making it mirror the other side. And of course going with stairs and slabs to smooth out the look. And continue roofing. Now for the smaller gables and to connect it to the larger section of the roof. Like before, I'm following along with stairs, blocks and slabs. This time, only have a one wide section of dark oak. Now to connect the roof. Just build backwards with your blocks until it reaches the back section of the roof. The hole should close up seamlessly. Now for the tower roof. Each face is going to have its own gable. Next, add a little decoration with some stairs and barrels. Oh, and some slabs too. I'm also placing slabs with a half slab gap in the center of each face. Now we're ready to put the roof on. Let's first do the dark oak edge, which is a mixture of blocks, stairs and slabs. So we've got slab, stair, block, stair, stair, block, stair, slab, block, 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 slab. Each face is done like this. Now to join the sections of the roof. Each corner should look like this. And there we have it. Let's add some swoops to go along with these smaller swoops to the larger sections of the roof. For the swoops on the big section, complete them like this with dark oak. Then go across the top of the roof of the build with some dark oak fences, until you reach the other side, ready for another swoop. Now for the little swoops. These are very simple. They're more points than swoops, really. So I've just built up an extra 2 blocks and then smoothed off the edge with some more deep slate blocks and slabs. Alright, I've added glass into all of the windows. Let's add a few details, like some window shutters. I'm putting these on just the tower windows, and I'm having some of them open, some of them closed, and let's have some of them half open. Now add a little front portico, the perfect spot for a door. using dark oak slabs for the veranda section or roof of this part of the build. Now you can put your door on either one of these walls, depending on how you're doing your interior. I think I'll have mine here. The build looks marvelous. Now let's add some chimneys. When building chimneys, it's a matter of fiddling around with the blocks until you find something that you're happy with. Always start by breaking a hole, as you can fill these up later if you make it too big. And be sure when you're building your chimney that any stairs curve round in the roof to seal up any holes. We don't want a hole in our roof, we'd have leaks with the rain. You can make your chimney as tall, as thin, as fat as you like. You can get real creative with chimneys. I'm first going to go in with some cobble to get the rough shape of mine. I think I'll have mine this tall. Then I'll use some stairs to create a little extra shape. And now I'm going to go in and randomize the blocks to add texture, using stairs and tuff. How does that look? Alright, then go in with some cobblestone walls to add even more shape and dimension. I'm putting some at the very top to finalize the look of the chimney. As with building the tower, it helps to stand back and look at your build, and then you can go back in and make any changes. I think it needs one more wall here, like this. Let's put another one on this side. Another great tip for putting in chimneys is to make sure the base of the chimney is wider than the top. But hey, you can get creative and you might find something else that works. The main structure of this build is done, but to really make your build pop, make sure you put it in a landscape setting and add a touch of greenery. Doesn't this look wonderful with all the greenery and setting around it? I hope you enjoy creating this medieval house. Please subscribe for more tutorials like this one, and I'll see you later.